So, good morning everybody. Today we are going to discuss about women empowerment and the sexual harassment in the at the working place, how to recognize it and how to prevent it, and what are the necessary actions to be taken to avoid sexual harassment at the workplace. Okay, I'm mainly dealing with the hospitals and the medical staff and the institutions, that is medical institutions, medical colleges, hospitals, clinics. So I'm mainly worried about those things, and I'm mainly discussing about those things. So it's a very simple thing. Today we are going to discuss about women empowerment, sexual harassment at the workplace, especially at the hospitals, labs, clinics. Okay, and the first and best, myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system, and today we'll go a step by step. The first and the foremost thing which you have to remember is our Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita that yatra naryanti pujyante ramante tatra devataha. Yatra naryanti pujyante ramante tatra devataha. Wherever there is a respect for women, the God will stay there at long time and will definitely bless all of us who are giving respect to females. I repeat, yatra naryanti pujyante ramante tatra devataha. Wherever there is respect for females or women, God will be there at that place and He will bless the people who give respect to the females or women. And one more saying in our Shastra that Vina striya gamanam jananam nasti. Vina striya jananam nasti. Vina striya gamanam nasti. Vina striya gamanam nasti. Vina striya jivam nasti. Vina striya jivam nasti. Vina striya srushti eva nasti. See, I repeat, Vina striya jananam nasti. Vina striya gamanam nasti. Vina striya jivam nasti. Vina striya srushti eva nasti. See, this meaning of this says that without woman there is no life. Without woman there is no enjoyment. Without woman there is no the living, and without woman the whole world will not be there. So there should be women in the world, and who should be given more power. That is what the meaning of women empowerment, and they should be given the more utmost respect, utmost safety. Then only the nation, the institution, the working place can achieve the success. Okay, it's a very simple. So, and one more thing. See, even the God must be born from mother's womb. Remember this word, even the God must be born from mother's womb. That means that is the speciality, that is the importance of the woman. Okay, so always remember, woman empowerment is the first and the foremost and the basic thing which you have to remember, which you have to put in action at your workplace, in your institutions, in your hospitals, in your clinics. So, yes. Yes, what is this sexual harassment? What is sexual harassment? Remember, sexual harassment can be between any employee. Remember, I'm trying to define the sexual harassment. Sexual harassment can be between any employee, between males and males, between females and females, and between males and females. So male, female, male, female. So sexual harassment can be between anyone. So what is the sexual harassment? See, sexual harassment is any unwelcome behavior which can be either physical or getting into the personal space of the employee, which can be either asking about, if the victim is a female, asking about his husband, his children, his in-laws, his father, mother. That is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. And discussing about those things, the personal issues of the female, personal things of the female, is a sexual harassment, because whenever you enter the institution, hold your gender. I'm trying to say, hold your gender. Please, everyone, hold your gender and enter the institution. And in the institution, so everyone is same, work coordinately. So whatever the things or the events done in expectation of the sexual favor is a sexual harassment. It can be threatening language. Hey, I will kill you, I will cut your head, is a sexual harassment. It can be between male to male, female to female, male to female, female to male. Here harasser and victims can be anyone, between any ranks, any position in the institution. This can happen. Okay, so, and sending some messages, electronic messages, sending on social media, sending some messages, and faulty languages. Hey you, hey hottie, hey sweetie, hey honey. These are all sexual harassment. Remember, so wherever there is no respect for the individual employee is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. Wherever the words, events, actions, whatever done in disrespecting the employee is a sexual harassment. Someone asked me, sir, if my clerk is not working, if I am telling her to do this work correctly, this and scolding or firing. Sometimes firing is also sexual harassment, but when the work is not done intentionally and you are trying to make that work efficient and perform well, that is not a sexual harassment. Remember, that is not a sexual harassment unless while firing he uses some abuse languages. He scolds something irrelevant. He enters into her personal space or his personal space, and personal things and personal matters discussed unless otherwise firing is not a sexual harassment. And one more thing I just want to add here. So I received a mail from the Philippines. He's some head in some hospital. He told me that, sir, I am having a kid of age about 12 years, and the workers working under me, nurses and these technicians, are of almost that age. So, and I am trying to say them, I talk with them in a singular language. I remember, you are an idiot. I don't know what to say for you. You are aged this much, you are experienced this much, and you are talking this. I'm really afraid. I'm telling you the fact. Remember, the giving respect to females starts at home. If you are not able to give respect to your daughter, if you are not able to give respect to your wife, if you are not able to give respect to your sister, if you are not able to give respect to your mother, if you are not able to give respect to your grandmother, then you are waste. That is also a sexual harassment. And remember, unless you give respect to females or women, it is not sexual harassment. If you are giving respect to females or women, that is not a sexual harassment. Disrespecting a woman, telling some languages like, say, females are more suitable for kitchen, not for the hospital work, or not for these works, that is a sexual harassment. Remember, that is a sexual harassment. Okay. And asking for a date to a girl is not sexual harassment once. And if she has rejected and he is repeatedly asking, that is a sexual harassment. Remember, that is a sexual harassment. And speaking, I'm putting some bikinis in the office, photos in the hospital, and showing some photos, bikini photos or some other photos to the females is a sexual harassment. Giving some gifts to the females, expecting the sexual favor is a sexual harassment. Remember, is a sexual harassment. And blackmailing the female by entering into her personal space is a sexual harassment. Remember, there is a strict law for this sexual harassment. According to 2013, the Prevention of Sexual Harassment and Act in 2013 in India, and Equal Employment Opportunity Commission Act in USA, United States of America, the sexual harassment is a crime. In the first instance, there will be fine up to $50,000 in India and 50,000 rupees in India and $50,000 in USA. And with the subsequent attempts, the amount may increase, and even it may lead to termination of the job. Remember this one. And one more entity, the people are misusing the concept of sexual harassment. For example, if there is some person who is working, see, sexual harassment can happen in government setup also and in private setup also. Remember this word. See, only the law says if there is an institution or a workplace of more than 10 people, then you have to report. You should have an internal complaint committee in your setup, and the complaint should be sorted through that. And if there are less than 10 workers, you should give the complaint to local complaint committee under the DC district collector. Local complaint committee, you should give the complaint, and complaint should be thoroughly investigated. Remember, whenever the electronic recording, electronic conversation, social media comments, and messages, WhatsApp messages, and the Instagram messages, and these are all sexual harassment. Okay, texting messages, texting some faulty languages, hottie, sweetie, and something, asking for sexual favor. Whatever they do, here the intention should be very clear. They are expecting for the sexual favors is a sexual harassment. And remember this word, it can be between male to male, female to female, and male to female. Okay, this word you have to remember. So, and one more instance, this is a very small story I just wanted to share with you all people. A man aged 58 years was he was alleged of sexual harassment case. Everyone told that his job will go, and his retirement settlements will be there, pensions will go. Next day he committed suicide. Remember, next day he committed suicide. But when they investigated, there was nothing like that, and the female was doing that for money. See, what I'm trying to say. See, even someone complains of sexual harassment, you be calm. There is for the first instance, there will be only fine for you. In the subsequent instances, there will be more and more fines. In the last step is termination of your job. Your job is last step. Remember that one. And this is for the harassers, I'm telling. And who was you should not commit suicide. That's what I'm trying to say. If someone alleges you of sexual harassment, don't commit suicide. First thing, you first if you're not done it, you try to prove it that you are not done it. And the second thing, for the victims, sexual harassment victims, I'm trying to say, see, 99% of the cases stop by acknowledging or by saying back. Okay, by saying back and putting forward the words, you are doing this is a sexual harassment, please stop. 99% of the cases are solved by this. Remember this word. 99% of sexual harassment cases are ended, will stop by saying stop this is a sexual harassment, please stop it. Okay, when the victim is not comfortable with the harasser, then they can go to complain to the higher authority. That is there. Okay, and what my intentions are, so they should either the harasser or the victim should not commit suicide. It is not a big thing. These are all some mistakes, and the people won't be knowing about these things, that what is sexual harassment and how it can be avoided. So these things happens. My intentions are very clear. Either the harasser or the victim should not commit suicide. They should know how to handle the situation of sexual harassment. And remember, someone saying irrelevantly, someone putting forward to suppress someone, to control someone, putting the word sexual harassment is again a crime. If there is nothing has happened like that, and someone is saying intentionally that is a sexual harassment, is also a crime, illegal, and it may again cost their job too. Okay, the law says same. So you cannot use it for spoiling someone's career. You cannot use it for killing someone. You cannot use it for damaging someone's image. Okay, again that is also wrong. And if there are intentionally someone is doing, again the law is for them also. So again, so this thing you should remember. Okay, what happens if someone intentionally says all I already spoken in my videos, pre-successful stage, post-successful stage, this all comes in those stages only. The people try to suppress you, they try to control you, saying that sexual harassment has happened. If you are doing this, it is a sexual harassment. This is all common. So but you should know what is sexual harassment, how you can control it, how you can prevent it, how you can recognize it. Okay, those things you should know. Okay, so women empowerment is also a very important part. Yes, they say in United States the reports have shown that 50% of females are suffering from sexual harassment, and 20% of males are suffering from sexual harassment at their workplace. And harassment is nothing like that. It can be based on the sex, based on the gender, based on the religion, based on the caste, based on the place, based on the color. It can be anything. Remember that word. It can be anything. Okay, that you have to remember. And one more thing is, sexual harassment is unacceptable. It can be of any caste, any religion, any place, anything. It is not acceptable according to United States of America. And United States of America, there is equal employment opportunity for every employee. There is a social justice to all the employee, all the workers who are working. Either it can be a private or it can be a government. There should be an equal employment opportunity for everyone. Remember, where there is a respect, and when you plot the respect and performance in a graph, XY graph, it is a straight line. Where there is a respect, there is increased performance or improved performance. That, in other words, high respect, high performance. Remember this word: high respect, high performance. Yes. So why it is problem? Most of the institutions, they don't report it. They don't take actions for the sexual harassment. They say that it is a damage to the institution. It is a damage to the reputation of the institution. It is the damage to the career of the employee. It is the damage to the job of the employee. Remember, it is nothing like that. You report it. Definitely, I'm saying every institution, every working place of more than 10 employee should have an internal complaint committee. There should be an internal complaint committee which reports the sexual harassment, and you take actions. Everyone will be happy to work in your institution. Remember this word. If there is a institution which has an internal complaint committee, and the people are proud to work in that institution, and the people are proud to send their kids to that institution, and there will be a safe and a fearless working environment for the females, then the and respect for the females, and then the trust for the females, then there will be high performance. This in turn leads to a good efficiency of the institution. Yes. Okay, one more important thing which you have to remember is there are two types of sexual harassment. Remember, quid pro quo. Quid pro quo, it is a simple word. Quid pro quo. So what does that mean? See here. it is related to the manager and the employee. Okay, and here the harassment is because for the promotion or demotion or any other works, favors related to the work, and the harasser is expecting for the sexual favors, that is quick pro due. And another one is hostile environment sexual harassment. Hostile environment, he personally enters. This can be quick pro due is because of this is between the manager and the employee, and the manager is expecting for the sexual favors to do some favors or rewards in the form of promotion or increasing the salary or in creating some comfortness to the employee. He is expecting for the sexual favors. That is quick pro due. Hostile environment sexual harassment is he enters into the cafeteria of the employee, and he starts doing physical abuses, touches. That is hostile environment sexual harassment. Two things: quick pro due and hostile environment sexual harassment. Quick pro due is first, here the manager and employee. Hostile environment sexual harassment, here he enters into the personal space of the employee. In quick pro due, he cracks some jokes. For example, if the staff is so short, you are grown, so you are growing up nowadays. Yeah, you are losing. If she is fat, you are losing your weight nowadays. And some jokes like it's better some lean person was there. He could have done or she could have done the work better, like that. Okay, if the lean person was there, she has went to the coffee day and can get she has taken the coffee for me, like that. I'm just telling the examples. What are the jokes and the comments, and long stories, telling some long stories, and whistling, unusual whistling, and cat voicing. For example, it's a sexual harassment. Whistling, visuals, unusual visuals is a sexual harassment. Offensive language, using offensive language is a sexual harassment. So what are the physical things they do? Physical things, touching the shoulders of the females, and calling by names. Okay, shoulders, and unusual laughing, and calling by names, a cutie, a sweetie, a hottie. Okay, like that. Calling by names is a sexual harassment. Okay. Now, so whistling and calling by names is a sexual harassment. Hostile environment sexual harassment can occur between the employee of the same sex, or between the employee of the different sex, and between the employee of any rank and any position. Remember, any rank and any position, hostile environment sexual harassment can happen. Quick pro due is Q is between the manager and the employee, and asking for the professional benefit. The manager is expecting sexual favors. That is quick pro due. Now, hostile environment sexual harassment can happen between any sex, males and females, males and males, females and females, between any rank, between the manager and the employee, between the two managers, between the two employee, any position. Okay, that you have to remember in the organization. The harsh jokes, comments, and other behaviors can create a hostile work environment. Harsh jokes, okay. Some non-veg jokes, what we call it as non-veg jokes, or some jokes related to the personal things are related to the sex and indicating the sexual favor is a sexual harassment. Remember this word, any events or intentions indicating sexual favor is sexual harassment. You have to remember it. And even if they are not directly intended, but if the story or the instance or the something shows that you are expecting for the sexual favors, that is a sexual harassment. Sexual harassment can occur Anywhere. Sexual harassment can occur anywhere. It can occur at work parties. It can occur during the dinner. It can occur in the conferences. It can occur in the trade shows. It can occur in the sales calls and charity events. This sexual harassment can occur anywhere. Yeah, unacceptable behavior is sexual harassment, including unwanted flirting. Remember this word, unwanted flirting is a sexual harassment. Remember. And someone told me, if the female is enjoying that flirting, that won't be a sexual harassment. No, it is a sexual harassment. Remember that. If one boy is flirting with another girl in the institution and someone records and gives it, it is a sexual harassment. It need not, the woman should go and give complaint. Understood? Unwanted flirting is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. The physical behaviors such as shoulder massages, hugging, back scratching is a sexual harassment. Remember, physical behaviors, shoulder massages, hugging and back scratching is a sexual harassment. Gossiping, spreading rumors about the sex topics. So you see, gossiping, that man and that girl, they are in a sexual relation. That is gossiping. And they had sex, I saw. That is related, spreading rumors related to the sex topics of the institution matters is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. The person who is speaking about someone else and their sexual matters is a sexual harassment. Remember this word, is a sexual harassment. And engaging in sexual conversation that are overheard by others. Okay, engaging in sexual conversation. See, the person who is coming to, for example, one female comes to you and she says that someone is telling me that I'm having a sexual relation with some B person. It is a sexual harassment for the person who she is telling. Remember, so discussion of the sexual topics in front of the person, any person who is not related to it, is a sexual harassment. Definitely is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. For example, some woman A coming to person P, discussing about the sexual matters that she has a relation, some C person is discussing that she has a relation with B person in front of P person, is a sexual harassment. Remember this word, is a sexual harassment. Okay, discussing about the personal matters of the employee in the institution is a sexual harassment. Definitely it is a sexual harassment. How is your husband, how are your kids, how are your grandparents, that is a sexual harassment. Remember this word, it is a sexual harassment. And the problem here comes here, unwanted flirting. The people, they unwanted flirting and they enter into the personal space of the employee. I already told you, please hold back your gender and at the door of the institution itself. Please hold back your gender at the door of the institution. And one more thing, you see, there is one more filtering called as grandma filtering. Whenever you're speaking with the female staff, you should have, this is mainly for the males who speak irrelevantly. See, can I ask this to my grandma? This is called as grandma filter. There is one more filter called as mother filter, sister filter, daughter filter in the brain. You should keep the filters in your brain. This depends upon the age of the harasser, the victims and age of the victim. For example, the person aged 58, 59 years, speaking with some worker of about 20, 22 years, he will be having the daughter of her age. So he should have a daughter filter in his mind. The same person speaking with some lady of age 58 years, he should have a wife filter in his mind. Can I speak this to my wife? Can I speak this to my sister? Can I speak this to my mother? These are the filters you should have. Again, similarly, females also should have the filters: brother filter, father filter, and husband filters, and son filter. Brother, father, husband, and son filter. Similarly, very rare, percentage also very less. but still the females should also have the filter in their brain, that is the grandfather filter, father filter, son filter, husband filter. So these are the filters they should have. Can I ask this to my father? Someone says, I usually speak with my grandfather like this, my mother like this, my sister like this. You are an idiot. You should first learn how to respect your father, grandfather, mother, grandmother, sister, brother, daughter, son. You should first learn that. Okay, if you say that words, I would rather say this is the answer for that. So you should respect starts from the home itself. You remember, you start giving the respect at home, the whole environment changes, brother. Whole environment changes. So respect starts at home, and you should have a filters in your mind. Okay, repeated requests for date is a sexual harassment. Repeated requests for date is a sexual harassment. Suggestive visualing, leering is a sexual harassment. Cat calls meow meow is a sexual harassment. Long stares, remember long stares. Hey, what is the stares? No, I have not touched anything. No, long stares is a sexual harassment. If you say long stares is a sexual harassment. So remember, this can be in the institution or outside the institution. Long stares is a sexual harassment. Sexually suggestive looks. This is most common with the females. They give some looks. Sexually suggestive looks is a sexual harassment. Sexually suggestive looks given by either males or females is a sexual harassment. And using crude and offensive languages, crude language, that is a sexual harassment. I already told you. Making comments about the person's sexual orientation. Remember, making comments about the person's sexual orientation is a sexual harassment. What happens? This happens in the offices. When the person is having a good personality, he's doing his work and going. He's not seeing at some the beautiful girls. He comes saying, "You are not seeing at the girls, whether you are male or not." That is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. That is a sexual harassment. Commenting about the sexual orientation. Making jokes or comments about the person's physical attributes. What a female saying, "What very nice physique you have," is a sexual harassment. Nice physique, what a body you have, is a sexual harassment. So for the females, male saying, "How cute you are, what a figure you are," is a sexual harassment. So inappropriate remarks, jokes about the woman's pregnancy is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. Jokes or comments about the woman's pregnancy is a sexual harassment. Jokes and comments about woman's pregnancy or doing anything either physical or oral about the woman's pregnancy is a sexual harassment. Remember, and the harassment for the woman's pregnancy, sexual harassment for the woman's pregnancy is the termination of the job. And again, the remarks will be put that he won't get the job for further 4 years. 4 years. Remember this word, further 4 years. Commenting or joking about the woman's pregnancy or doing trouble or anything either physical or oral to the woman's pregnancy is a sexual harassment, and there will be for this the punishment is the termination of the job, and he won't get the job for the upcoming 4 years. Okay, this is their law. You go and check it. And yes, what I'm trying to say, sexual harassment is definitely illegal. Sexual harassment is illegal. Sexual harassment is illegal and not tolerated. Sexual harassment is illegal and not tolerated at any workplace. Remember this word, sexual harassment is illegal and it is intolerable at any workplace, at any whatever may be either it is private or government, or it is a clinic or some workplace with less than 10 workers or the workplace with more than 10 workers. Sexual harassment at any place, any workplace is unacceptable, intolerable. So sexual harassment inflicts serious damage on the organization. It can inflict serious damage on the organization. First thing, productivity and moral of the institution. Productivity and moral of the institution. Sexual harassment can inflict the can result in serious damage to the organization. Productivity and moral of the institution. So sexual harassment, that's why they are more worried about this word. Sexual harassment, it inflicts the damage, it results in the damage to the organization. And productivity and moral of the institution. Remember, any organization, institution, either private or government, with less or more than 10 workers or less than 10 workers, should have an internal complaint committee, and less than 10 workers should have should go and give complaint to the DC local complaint committee to the DC. Okay, so this should be registered and serious action to be taken. And so in the bylaw you should give a serious note or serious law about the sexual harassment. Okay, it is unacceptable and intolerable. Remember this. Okay, an individual named in sexual harassment complaint can lose their job, reputation, even the career. Job, reputation, and even the career. That's why I told you this what happens especially during the pre-successful stage and the post-successful stage, and during maintaining. When you are maintaining your success, this thing happens. Please remember, it is not, if you are in a harasser position also, if you are not done any mistake, you can fight it. You can document by doing the recordings, whatever happened in that time, or what are the instances happening after that time. You can do an electronic recording and you can prove to yourself. Okay, if you are done also, once at first instance there will be fine, so you don't commit suicide. So next instance you cannot repeat it, and next instance you be very careful. And what I am trying to say, it is called as eternal vigilance. Eternal vigilance. So whenever after first instance, whenever some female worker comes or male worker comes, you better do the recording, electronic recording. You document it that you have not done any crime, anything harassing. If they still comply, it is again they are intentionally want to trouble you. They want to create trouble. That's why they are doing. And you prove it, definitely they will be charged of sexual harassment, unnecessary usage of sexual harassment charges. Okay, that again you will get compensation for that. It's not a problem. So remember this word. So is unacceptable and intolerable. So we have already discussed quid pro quo. So here, when a manager withhold or awards job benefits on the basis of sexual favors. I already told you there are two types of sexual harassment. One is quid pro quo, and other one is hostile environment sexual harassment. So quid pro quo, the manager withholds or awards job benefits, withholds or awards job benefits expecting the sexual favors. So he gives promotion expecting sexual favors. He increases the salary expecting sexual favor. So these are the things, that is quid pro quo. So manager withholds or awards job benefits expecting sexual favor. Remember this word, quid pro quo is a sexual harassment type in which the manager withholds or awards job benefits expecting sexual favor. I repeat, quid pro quo is the type of sexual harassment in which the manager withholds or awards job benefits expecting sexual favors. This includes work assignments, hiring, termination, promotion, demotion, positive and negative performance reviews, or any other job related benefit. Any other job related benefit. So hostile environment harassment, when the conduct or unreasonably interferes with the individual's work performance, creates an intending hostile or offensive working environment. Yes, see, this is hostile environment sexual harassment. Here the individual does the conduct unreasonably, without any reason, interferes with the individual's work performance. Without any reason, he interferes with the individual's work performance. For example, this can work performance. For example, if he has done some project, he unnecessarily finds the mistakes in it and tells. Okay, that is hostile environment sexual harassment. And he creates an intended. Someone comes and if it is there is no sexual harassment, also he comes and says that is sexual harassment, is again hostile environment sexual harassment. Here, creating the negative environment, creating the hostile environment in the institution, in the department, in the clinic, is a hostile environment sexual harassment. So reasonably person. Okay, there is, for this you should remember, there is some standard. Reasonable person standard. Reasonable person standard. That is the boundary. Every employee, whether it is higher rank or lower rank, higher position or lower position, has a reasonable person standard. Has a reasonable person standard. Every employee has a reasonable person standard. Has a boundary in which no one should enter at the workplace. That's what I'm trying to say. Personal space, no one should enter. So remember this word, a reasonable person standard. The law is there, and they have defined it clearly in USA. That is, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has defined that reasonable person standard. Reasonable person standard. Even institution can create its own standard. So reasonable person standard or boundary for every employee or every individual is there. When addressing sexual harassment behavior, offensive. Most sexual harassment, sexual behavior, when they are continuous and unwanted, meet this standard. When they're continuous, they are not going to stop if someone says also continuous, and they are unwanted. Remember this word, unwanted. So it is the safe way to avoid the behavior is by entirely ignoring. Yeah. So now what I am trying to say is very simple thing. It's also illegal to retaliate for sexual harassment. Retaliate. Someone says sexual harassment only for money. They want money, or she want money, or he want money. That's why he intentionally puts that word. That's why it is illegal to retaliate for sexual harassment complaint. This can be lead to disciplinary action up to and including termination. Now, how to prevent sexual harassment? See, it's very simple. Leave sexually based behavior at the door of the institution. Leave sexually based. See, why I am telling this? In home, if you don't respect your daughter, also nothing will happen. See, if you don't, your wife also nothing will happen. But you should respect. I'm telling you should respect your wife, daughter, mother, grandmother, sister. But if you don't respect, also nothing will happen. But at the job, this is not going to be okay. So leave your sexual based behavior at the door itself. Treat everyone with respect, utmost respect. You call either it is lower grade staff or higher grade staff, lower rank person or higher rank person. You just speak them with respect. Sir, you call them sir for the male staff. For the female staff, you call it as ma'am, madam, whatever. Okay, you speak with respect. That should be your primary motto. Speaking with the employee with respect. So I already told you, where there is respect, the performance is also 100% more. Speak up with when you see the harassment. Study shows that speak up when there is harassment. You speak up. If the harassment is going for your colleague, your friend, or lower rank person, higher rank person, speak up. 99% are solved with when speaking up and telling them, the harasser, that you are doing this sexual harassment, please stop. That itself is the solution. In 99% of the cases, that itself is the solution. Studies show that simply asking the harasser to stop will end the sexual harassment in 99% of the cases. However, if you are not comfortable with the harasser, if the harassing behavior continues, you can complain to the higher authorities. If harassment is quick, provocative, physically aggressive and threatening in nature, it should be reported immediately to the higher authorities or to the Human Resource Department, Human Resource Development Department, HRD, Human Resource Development Department. Okay, so I repeat, if the harassment is continuing, if the sexual harassment is continuing, if the sexual behavior is continuing, and he is not afraid of anyone, and it is life threatening, at that time it is better you report to the institution, internal complaint committee. If they are also not taking action, you can go to Human Resource Development Department, Human Resource Development, HRD. Remember this word. You can complain to HRD, Human Resource Development. Yeah. Use of demanding names and offensive names is a sexual harassment. Sweetie, hottie, I've discussed. Viewing or posting sexual pictures or posters or cartoons, videos or images on social media is a sexual harassment. And even sending sexually explicit emails, viewing sexually based websites, and the use of social networking it's for sexually based messages and pictures. Using social networking for sexually based messages and pictures is a sexual harassment. I repeat, sending sexual explicit emails, viewing sexually based websites, and the use of social networking it's for sexually based messages and pictures is a sexual harassment. Offensive gender based comments and behavior that denigrate the people simply behave of their gender. So some things or some words which reminds the people of their gender is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. The naming, telling some jokes, some names, telling some things which reminds the people of their gender is a sexual harassment. Remember this. Telling some names, some stories, some things, some jokes, comments that reminds the people of their gender is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. Texting or sexting, sexually explicit message and pictures via your cell phone is a sexual harassment. Texting or sexting, sexually explicit message or pictures via your phone is a sexual harassment. Remember this word. The consequences, there can be a written warning can be given to you, suspension, demotion, and even last termination can also happen. That you have to remember, so termination can also happen. Now what I'm trying to say, so what you have to do? So remember, first, zero tolerance for harassment. Whether it can be sexual harassment, whether it can be gender harassment, whether it can be religion harassment, whether it can be caste harassment, whether it can be disability harassment, and remember one more thing, whether it can be age harassment, disability harassment, sexual harassment, gender harassment, religion harassment, caste harassment, everything is a crime. and is not acceptable, and there is a 0% tolerance for all these harassments in the institution. Remember, 0% tolerance for sexual harassment, gender harassment, age harassment, religion harassment, caste harassment, ethnic background harassment, disability harassment, race harassment is unacceptable. There should be a zero tolerance for all these, and institutions should publish at their internet website that it is not acceptable. There is 0% tolerance for that. And remember, if the institution announces that there is a 0% tolerance for this sexual harassment, age harassment, religion, ethnic harassment, caste harassment, and disability harassment, the quality of the institution improves. The quality of the institution improves. The name of the institution improves. It gives the name and fame to the institution, and the quality of work, the quality of performance in the institution increases. Yes, one more thing, sexual harassment training. Sexual harassment training should be given to all the employee in the institution. Sexual harassment training. They should know what is sexual harassment. They should know why they are doing, when they are doing, what is sexual harassment and what is not sexual harassment, and how you can prevent it, and what are the actions you have to take during the sexual harassment. I already told you acknowledging the person that you are doing sexual harassment. 99% the solution is acknowledging saying the person that is sexual harassment, please don't do it. That itself is the solution in 99% of the cases. 99% of the cases. And how to measure, how you can prevent sexual harassment. I already told you, grandma filters, wife filter, daughter filter, mother filter, sister filter for the males, and the females, grandfather filter, father filter, brother filter, husband filter, son filter for the females. Just you imagine, before saying some faulty words, can I say this to my grandfather? Can I say this to my father, son, my husband? Can I say this to my brother? Can I say this to my daughter, sister, mother, grandmother, and wife? Okay. And if you have that filters in your mind, definitely this will work out. Establish effective complaint process. So this is very important. I already told you, internal complaint committee should be there in every institution, so that they get deal with these complaints and they solve these problems. Take immediate and appropriate actions when there is employee complaints about sexual harassment. They take immediate action. That's what they're trying to say. So mainly sexual harassment is unwanted sexual advance requests for sexual favors and other verbal and physical conduct of sexual in nature, that is explicit or implicit or affect on individuals' employment, unreasonably interferes with individuals' work performance, and creates an intending or hostile or offensive work environment. So that is a sexual harassment. Every employee deserves safe and comfortable environment at work. Remember, every employee deserves a safe and comfortable environment at the workplace. Every employee deserves safe and comfortable working environment at their workplace. Every employee deserves safe and comfortable working environment at their workplace. At workplace, free of harassment and fear and full of respect. At workplace, there should be free of harassment, fear, and full of respect. What should be there in your workplace? Full of respect, trust, free, fearless, and harassmentless. It's up to everyone to do their part in preventing harassment. It's up to everyone to do their part in preventing harassment. It's up to everyone to do their part in preventing harassment. So at the workplace, again, you should recognize it, prevent it, and there should not be any yes. So despite in the media and the court, there are people who complaining about sexual harassment. Again, it is there in the all working places. In the US in 2010, there are about 7,000 sexual harassment cases in United States of America reported, and it's illegal. The act was passed in 1964. So it is about any sex. So everyone It depends on the trust and moral of the institution. So next thing you should have to remember is 6 idea to build a culture of respect and trust. 6 ideas to build the trust culture of trust and 6 ideas to build the culture of respect and trust in the institution, in the workplace. 6 ideas to build the culture of respect and trust at the workplace. First is employee see what you see and do. So employee sees what you see and do. Okay, what you say and do. So in the institution you should be aware of the employee sees what you say and what you do. So that action speaks everything. Action is a reflection of mind. So your action should match your words. That's what they're trying to say. How to keep a respectful, a trustful working environment. So first, the employee sees your words and your actions. So your actions should match your words. Whatever things you're doing should match your words. If you say you are not doing any sexual harassment or religion harassment, caste harassment, you should not do the actions related to it. That's what they're trying to say. Your actions and words should match. Make respect to care values. Make respect. Stop gossiping. Stop harassing languages. Stop bullying. Negative and disrespectful behavior. Stop that. Respect first. You respect your colleagues. Respect everyone. Make employee responsible. This you remember. Make the employee responsible. Make the employee responsible. That means make the employee responsible. Make the employee responsible. That means you should give the employee, make the employee responsible. So make the employee responsible. If you say the employee that be responsible is not a sexual harassment. Remember, you are irresponsible, that is not a sexual harassment. Remember, so make the employee responsible. So that is good. So make the employee responsible such that you have a trustful, a respectful environment. Diversity is not enough. So diversity is not enough. So diversity and in conclusion, so value of your thought and the contribution. So what they are trying to say, the employee should have the value of your thoughts and contributions to the institution. The value of your thoughts and contribution to the society. Value of your thoughts and contribution to the everyone. See, remember, the employee should know the value of your thoughts and contribution to the society. The employee should know the value of your thoughts and contribution to the institution. The employee should know the value of your thoughts and contribution to the department. So that should create a respectful and trustful environment. So how you care for the employee? How you care for the employee? See, caring is not the personal care. This you have to remember. This is misunderstood. So how you care for the employee? For example, if you are sending the employee upstairs, be careful, you may fall. So use some ropes or something. That is caring for the employee. So when he is doing some work with the fire and all, tell him be careful, use gloves, use fire safety equipments and instruments, keep it ready, then do work. That is the caring. Okay, understood? Very simple. So how you care builds the trust in between you and the employee. How you care builds the trust between you and the employee. So long-standing care, long-standing trust. This is necessary for respectful and trustful environment. And last but not the least is strive for transparency. Strive for transparency. Remember this word, strive for transparency. So acknowledge the things, whatever the things happening in the department, please do acknowledge it. You need not discuss it completely or thoroughly, but you do acknowledge the things when they are happening, and even thorough discussion is not needed, thorough discussion is not needed, but do acknowledge the things whatever is happening. For example, in the department, if you are NABH accredited, your hospital is NABH accredited, acknowledge the things. Don't discuss in detail, oh, this has happened, it was very difficult, in 3 years, we tried for 3 or 4 years, now, no, not needed. You just acknowledge the things. Yes, our hospital got NABH accredited, National Accreditation Board for Hospitals, that is accredited. Our lab got NABL accredited. Just acknowledge the things. No, don't go in detail, but acknowledge the things. That will create a respectful and trustful environment at the workplace. I repeat, employee sees your whatever you say and your actions, so your actions and the words should match. Make respects and avoid the disrespectful behavior like gossiping or commenting or bullying. Make employee responsible. And diversity is not enough. Diversity means the employee should know the value of your thoughts and your contribution to the society as well as to the institution, and how to care. So how you care to the employee. Long-standing care builds in long-standing trust. That's what I'm trying to say. And last but not least, strive for transparency. So you should acknowledge the things which is happening in the institution or the department to the employee. You might not discuss in detail, but do acknowledge the things what is happening. So building the culture of respect. So remember, building the culture of respect in your institution is a must. I already told you, when you plot the graph of the respect and the performance, so it is a straight line. So where there is more respect, more performance. High respect, high performance. So this is the graph which I am trying to say. Please do see. Okay, that will be a graph. And more respect, more high performance. So again, morality depends upon the morality, and disrespect or incivility. See, disrespect and incivility, both are dangerous. Disrespect, you disrespecting someone, and incivility, you are not civilized, you are not behaving in a civilized manner. Again, that is wrong. So leaders should always respect should have the leaders, all the leaders. I already told you, every doctor is a leader. Leaders should have the culture of respect. Remember this word, every doctor is a leader. Leaders should have the culture of respect. You speak, leader, whenever you are speaking, you should have the culture of respect. So leaders should always have the culture of respect. I already told you, every doctor is a leader. Leaders should have the culture of respect. Respect for the employee is the most important contribution to job satisfaction. Respect for the employee is the most important contribution to job satisfaction. I repeat, respect for the employee is the most important contribution to job satisfaction. So respect for the employee is the most important contribution to job satisfaction. Yes. So one more thing what you can do to prevent the sexual harassment, establishing procedures for reporting sexual harassment. So make it easy for the employee. It is helpful for the victims to inform the harasser directly that the conduct is unwelcome and needs to stop. That itself is a solution in 90.9% of the cases. Victims should use employer complaint mechanism, grievance system available in the institution. Employers should clearly communicate the complaint systems to all the employees and ensure that the management will responsible and thorough investigation is done in the allegation. So thorough investigation should be done in the allegation and prevent it in workplace. So it is impossible to manage or monitor every employee behavior. So it is better to set standards and rising sensitivity that will the sensitivity line will be crossed. So this you have to remember. See, it is impossible to manage or monitor the behavior of each employee. Again, you can put the CCTVs in all departments, all rooms. That is possible. But what I am trying to say, it is impossible. almost if you put CCTV also, it is impossible to monitor or manage the behavior of each employee. So it is better to set some standard. I already told you, reasonable person standard. You can put, institution can put its own standard, reasonable person standard, so that that line should not be crossed. That's what they are trying to say. It is difficult to monitor the behavior of each and every employee. So you, institution, can create your own reasonable person standard, or you follow the reasonable person standard of Equal Employment Opportunity Commission of USA. Okay, and set the standard. That is a good big solution for that. Yes, what I'm trying to say, internal complaint committee is there. This is mainly for the Indians. Remember this: sexual harassment at workplace, prevention and prohibition, readdressal act. Sexual harassment at workplace, prevention and prohibition, readdressal act. Sexual harassment at workplace, prevention and prohibition, readdressal act of 2013 in India. Sexual harassment at workplace, prevention and prohibition, readdressal act of 2013 in India. All the sexual harassment complaints should be registered at internal complaint committee set in the institution when there are more than 10 workers working in the institution or the place. I repeat, sexual harassment at workplace, prevention and prohibition, readdressal act of 2013 in India. Every institution who have, or the workplace or the clinic where there are more than 10 person working, should have an internal complaint committee, and the sexual harassment complaint should be given to that committee. And if there is no strict actions taken, they can give it to Human Resource Development Department, or else they can also give it to the local complaint committee, which is there under district collector. And if there are less than 10 people working at one place or clinic or something, so they can complain. They should not have need not have an internal complaint committee. Then they can go and directly complain to local complaint committee under the district collector in every district. And if the actions is not taken, they can go to Human Resource Development Committee. So work threats, again, is an harassment, is the sexual harassment also only. So that should also be, can be complained. Yes, remember, the law doesn't care for your intentions, why you did, how you did, and how it was understood by others. That's it. The law doesn't care for your intention. Remember this one. How you did, why you did. Why you did. Physical, I mean touching the physically. You say, no, she is my sister, that's why. No. I thought she is my sister. No. Law doesn't care for your intentions. It only says why you did, how it was understood. That's it. Remember that one. Okay? The law does not care for your intentions. You can say, she is like my sister, so I did it. No. She is like my mother, so I did it. No. She is like my daughter, so I did it. No, never. Remember this one. The law says that you doesn't care for your intention. It only says why you did, how you did, and how it was understood by others. Remember this one, how it was understood by others. That is only the law. Sexual harassment at workplace, prevention, prohibition, readdressal act of 2013. Their perception is your reality. Either it can be male to male, female to female, or male to female. The victim's perception is your reality. Victim's perception is your reality. Speaking some threatful words in the institution is a sexual harassment. And again, it is victim's perception. It's not the harasser's perception. It is victim's perception. Okay. So it is the unwelcome behavior that comes, not the gender. Remember this word. It is the unwelcome behavior that comes, not the gender. So this is about sexual harassment. Remember, very simple, in brief I am trying to say. So sexual harassment is unacceptable. So any unwelcome behavior is unacceptable. Any behavior or intentions done in favor of sexual favors is a sexual harassment. Whether it can be male to male, female to female, male to female, it is a sexual harassment. And you can prevent it by having the filters in your mind. Males can have a filter of saying grandmother filter, mother filter, sister filter, daughter filter. Okay. And the females can have the grandfather filter, father filter, the husband filter, and son filter, brother filter. Okay, and 99% of this sexual harassment conduct will stop when you acknowledge it. When you say the person, you are doing this is a sexual harassment, please stop it. 99% of these sexual harassment problems are solved by just acknowledging it. Remember this one. Okay, and one more thing. So when you do, this happens 99% in case of government employees. When you are at the age of retirement, or when you are in the stage of success, they intentionally say that sexual harassment and all. So remember, don't be worried. If you're not done, you can fight it. There is not a problem. And after that, again, they're trying to intentionally do something. Again, you can record it and document it and prove it. There's not a problem. And if you have done it also, don't commit suicide. For the first instance, you can just be charged some fine. For example, minimum 50,000 rupees in case of India and $50,000 in USA. And then again, it depends upon the countries. Okay, but remember this word. So you please don't commit suicide. Everyone has a family, so mistakes can happen with anyone. So please do not commit suicide. And one more thing, women empowerment. Remember, whatever the more and more power we give for the women, that much stronger will be our community or institution or the country or the state or the district. Remember this word. So give more and more power to the women. Create a safe working environment for the woman. That will help you for improving your institution, organization, clinic or anything. So give more powers to the females, women, give more power to the woman, give more safety to the woman, fearless environment to the woman, and institution have some moral, some reputation regarding giving respect to the females. Then only the institution can grow. Thank you. Myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system. This is there in the book. Everything is there in the book. This video is done to enlighten your knowledge on sexual harassment and women empowerment. And sexual harassment is misunderstood by some people. So clearly I am telling what is sexual harassment, so how you can prevent it, how you can manage it. Okay, and please, it's my kind request, especially for the doctors, if someone charges you of sexual harassment, don't commit suicide. You can fight back and you can improve. You have a chance of improving yourself. Okay, thank you very much. Myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system. Please do read the book. Please do read the book, and please do subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel. So there is a bell button below. Please do subscribe. Please do subscribe to my channel. Myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system. So everything is there in the book. Thank you so much. Jai Ganesh, Jai Shri Ram.